So clearly the Green Revolution missed a very essential point, that is keeping the fertility of the soil in the long term. Do you think on top of that there's also a factor of greed that has made it so difficult to realize that the Green Revolution is not a long-term solution and go back to something more eco-friendly?
I think the real question, the real problem is not so much of production. It's more of fair share in distribution. And then if the problem is not of production, why are we extracting, exploiting the soil so harshly of its nutrients, of its fertility? For what purpose? If it's not really about supplying food for the hungry. Most of the food is being driven to the wealthy countries, and most of it is being fed into animals that are being fed to the affluent world, and still people in Asia, in Africa, in South America are starving, and it really not is because we don't produce enough food. Why are we cutting down the Amazon forest to grow corn and soybeans to feed cattle? It makes no sense.
I agree. You mentioned a little bit about plague control through permaculture. Can you explain it a little better? How does permaculture protect the crops from plague?
Well, we have numerous techniques and strategies. One of the main strategies that we use is not monocropping. We try to drive as far as possible away from monocropping, because when you have a lot of the same, you're just asking for trouble, you're just asking for the plague to come. So we intercrop, we plant things together, we make these guilds or companion planting of beneficial plants. Some of them we're cultivating for the crop, but other ones we're cultivating because they are making a habitat for the predators of the bugs that are usually giving us trouble with this specific crop. And I think maybe coming back to Green Revolution, I think they didn't really look at the relationship between different organisms in nature, and this is why they just generally spray it with pesticides which kill everything, the beneficial bugs together with the bad bugs. But it's not a sustainable practice at all, because it just inhibits life in general. And what we try to do is to promote the beneficial insects, the predatory insects, create habitat for them, and they take care of the bugs. And in the question of disease, we have different strategies to deal with different kind of fungal disease or nematodes. Also sometimes in a very specific situation or in a specific crop that we know that we need to be taken care in a certain way, we will also make some preparations with fermented biological components like very hot pepper or chaya, which has some alkaloids that help us to protect our crops from certain disease or a pest. And these are plants that just have developed their own way of protection through many millions of years, billions of years of evolution, and they figured it out. They know how to produce these chemicals that are toxic for one thing and not toxic for another, and we use them just because they work.
So what is your favorite aspect of permaculture?
Well, the best thing about permaculture is that it's a stressless system. You can really enjoy it. You don't really enjoy walking through the banana plantation because of the airplanes spraying fungicides and all the plastic garbage everywhere, and it's not a very pleasant environment, or a wheat field or a cornfield. But you are walking in a very enjoyable, peaceful and harmonious place. If you go through a permaculture farm, it feels like nature reserve. It brings in beautiful birds and insects and aquatic life and all kinds of wildlife that we see here daily. You don't see that in a banana plantation or in a wheat field at all. it's just beautiful, it's enjoyable, it's very productive. We find that it's very, very productive per input of energy or per unit of land, or in whichever scale you want to measure it, it's extremely productive and of very low maintenance. We can go traveling in the world for 2 years and come back and the fruit will be dripping off the trees. It doesn't happen with a cornfield.
That's awesome, I love that. Do you think that the practice of permaculture, once it becomes part of your life, do you think that it does your soul good also?
I think it does. I think permaculture brings you to a more harmonious lifestyle. Many people look at permaculture as a lifestyle, as a healthy lifestyle. Many people come to permaculture from their interest in healthy living and healthy diet and so on. And also it brings you to meet the most interesting people, the nicest people, people that are not very aggressive and pushy, usually people that are very cooperative and nice to work with. And this is another thing that I really like about permaculture. It brings good people together. Join us on our next permaculture course in Costa Rica in the beautiful Punta Mona Sustainable Demonstration Farm and Tacotal Eco Village. Check out the details in www.puntamona.org.